Have you ever been listening to someone speak and it just resonates, you know? You feel it deep down, like in your bones, not just intellectually.
Yeah, like a physical sensation almost, a kind of instinctive recognition of truth.
Exactly. What is that magic? Today we're doing a really profound deep dive into the art of speaking with the heart. We're drawing a lot from a fascinating talk by the philosopher Lúcia Helena Galvão.
She has some incredible insights on this.
Totally. So our mission here is pretty clear. We want to understand what it really means to communicate from that, authentic inner place.
And why it feels so rare these days.
Yeah, why it's so rare, and also the journey it takes. It's this whole process of reflection and understanding, and then actually acting on it.
It's demanding, no doubt about it.
For sure. And we'll explore why this isn't just about, sounding good or being eloquent. It's about tapping into something deeper, wisdom, truth, and maybe serving something bigger than just ourselves.
That's a really powerful way to frame it. And what strikes me immediately in the source material is how it kind of challenges our usual modern take on communication.
How so?
Well, it pushes past just the techniques, the rhetoric. It urges us towards something much more, authentic, rooted in who we actually are.
Which brings up a big question for you listening, doesn't it?
Definitely.
Yeah.
In this world, just flooded with information, with voices constantly shouting for attention, how do you tell the difference?
Yeah, how do you discern that real connection, that authenticity, from what's just, a really polished performance?
What's your gut telling you? What's that internal barometer saying? It's a crucial skill.
It absolutely is. A vital question to keep in mind as we dive in. And our deep dive really kicks off with this sharp observation from Lúcia Helena Galvão herself.
Which is?
She points out that even though there are countless speakers, lecturers, communicators everywhere, online, on stages, even just in conversation.
Yeah, there's no shortage of talk.
Right. But she notes it's incredibly rare to find people who truly speak from the heart. Think about your own experience. You can almost feel that disconnect sometimes, can't you?
Oh, absolutely. That feeling that the words and the person, they don't quite line up.
Exactly. And the source points to a really interesting visual cue, something we maybe don't pay enough attention to.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
It's this idea that there's often a really clear, sometimes unsettling difference between what people say and what their eyes are showing.
The eyes, yes.
And this is key, right? The source argues the eyes are the hardest part to fake. Even really skilled actors, masters of showing emotion. They apparently struggle to make their gaze genuinely match their words unless they actually feel the emotion behind it. It's not easy to fake that kind of inner alignment.
That makes sense. It's a window, isn't it?
Totally. And the source suggests this simple experiment for you listening. Next time you're watching, say, a political ad or a news interview, any public speaker really.
What should we do?
Try muting the volume. Just turn it off. And then focus completely, just intently on the person's eyes.
Okay.
You'll often find, it says, that the gaze is surprisingly blank, almost inexpressive, even if their face is doing all the work, trying to convey big emotions like excitement or conviction.
Wow. So the face might be animated, but the eyes are flat.
Exactly. It's this striking, almost chilling difference between just a skilled performance and that genuine radiant light you see when someone truly feels it inside.
Right. Building on that subtle mismatch you mentioned, that lack of harmony between the words and the truth in the eyes, it really does point to a fundamental lack of inner alignment, doesn't it?
Seems so, yeah.
It really highlights how crucial that internal coherence is for real communication, for having actual influence.
So it's not just about the words themselves.
Not at all. And what's really beautiful here is this idea the source brings up, drawing from the poet Rumi. The heart is a mirror. When it is clean, it will reflect light.
That's beautiful.
Isn't it? So when someone's heart is metaphorically clean, meaning, their intentions are pure, they're sincere, not driven by self-interest, it reflects this unique light. And that leads to truly charismatic, impactful communication.
So that's where charisma comes from, not just technique.
That's the argument. Such a person isn't just a speaker in the technical sense. They become a true orator.
An orator. What's the distinction there?
Well, it's not just about sounding good. The source points out the etymology, the root of orator or oratolo in Portuguese, apparently links directly back to oration or prayer.
Prayer.
Yeah. It profoundly implies that an orator is someone who speaks from the soul, from a place of deep purity, sincerity, a resonance that just goes way beyond any learned technique. It's about speaking from the very core of who you are.
Okay, so let's bring this back to you, the listener. What's the main takeaway from this part?
Well, it suggests that real influence, that ability to genuinely move people, inspire them, connect with them, it doesn't ultimately stem from a perfectly polished delivery or practicing your lines over and over.
It comes from.
It springs from an authentic, clean, aligned inner state. It's less about what you say and so much more about who you are when you say it.
Wow. That changes everything. Even just a casual chat could become something profound then.
Exactly. It elevates the everyday interaction.
Okay, let's jump way back in time now. Think about the very origins of speech. Why do we even talk?
Good question. The basics, right?
Yeah. Anthropological studies suggest language first popped up mainly for survival needs. Coordinating hunts, warning about danger, finding food, keeping the group safe.
Makes sense. Grunts and gestures becoming more complex over time.
Exactly. Early humans made noises, and gradually over ages they got more sophisticated, turning into the complex languages we have now. But here's where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
Language didn't just meet those basic needs. It profoundly shaped us in return.
Ah, the feedback loop.
Right. The source highlights that the very act of developing and using language actively helped our brains develop. It fostered cerebral connections, sped up brain evolution.
Boosted synaptic activity, made us quicker, more connected thinkers.
Precisely. It's this powerful back and forth.
Yeah.
We made language, and language helped make us more complex, more intelligent.
A coevolution in a way.
Totally. And as humanity continued evolving, moving beyond just survival, becoming truly humanized, more than just instinct-driven creatures, the main job of language shifted too. It took on a higher purpose. It became the way we express ideas.
Ah, the leap to abstraction.
Yes. This is where the unique human power of language really shines, moving beyond just swapping information to actually articulating abstract thought, meaning, purpose, foundational stuff.
That shift is absolutely critical, from survival instructions to expressing ideas, and it leads us straight to a really important question for you to think about in your own life.
Which is?
In our daily conversations, how often are we genuinely expressing profound ideas? Rather than just, relaying what happened today, talking logistics, or talking about other people.
Ooh, that's a sharp point, the gossip trap.
Exactly. The source brings up that classic observation, often attributed to Eleanor Roosevelt.
I think I know this one.
Great minds discuss ideas, average minds discuss events, small minds discuss people.
Yeah. It's a bit stark, maybe, but it makes you think, doesn't it? About the quality of our own conversation.
It really does. And to hammer this home, the speaker in the source shares this great little anecdote.
Oh.
They describe taking a long walk in a busy city park, watching all the people chatting, picnicking, and their observation was striking. Over the whole walk, they heard almost no one discussing deep ideas. It was pretty much all about other people.
Wow. Really? That consistently?
Apparently so. They even joked, sort of darkly, that the most necessary person at any party is often the one who isn't there.
Because they provide all the conversational fodder.
Exactly. Their absence becomes the main topic.
That's depressingly accurate sometimes, isn't it? It really highlights our habits.
It does.
So maybe a little challenge for you listening this weekend, maybe in a park or a cafe or just at your next get-together. Just listen, tune in.
Eavesdrop ethically, of course.
Of course. How many people are genuinely talking about what is justice, or the meaning of life, or what's the nature of consciousness?
The source suggests it's incredibly rare, a real diamond in the rough when you hear it.
Yeah. And expressing ideas, as the source defines it, means going deeper, getting to the seed, the root of things.
The origin point.
Right. Ancient traditions often say everything starts with an idea, human or divine. It's about seeking the essence of things, their core being, their identity, their real purpose.
Beyond just the surface appearance.
Exactly. And this deep dive isn't easy. It requires what the source calls the habit of reflection.
Curving inwards.
Yes. Looking deep inside yourself to understand your own depths, and through that, trying to grasp the depth of everything else. Seeking that profound underlying truth. It's engaging with reality on a much more fundamental level.
And a crucial point here is that seeking these core ideas, this essence, means we have to look past the superficial, right?
Yeah, you can't just skim the surface.
It demands that deep introspection, constantly searching for the core identity and purpose hidden within things. It's active seeking, not passive observation, delving into the why and the what at that foundational level.
Which inevitably brings us face to face with a big modern challenge.
Ah, yes. The truth question.
Exactly. This whole journey to find ideas and essences bumps right up against this very common modern attitude. Lots of people today question if truth even exists.
The rise of relativism.
Right, what the source calls radical relativism. You hear it all the time. Well, that's your truth, not my truth. Or even just flat out, truth doesn't exist.
It's a very human-centered view, isn't it?
Totally. The source calls it anthropocentric, placing human opinion at the center of everything, as if our thoughts somehow create reality. But the source really pushes back hard against that.
How does it challenge that?
With a brilliant thought experiment. Imagine, it says, that humanity just never developed. Maybe some genetic fluke way back when, we just didn't happen.
A world without us.
Would the sun just wink out of existence? Would plants and animals stop being what they are, stop doing their thing, just because no human was around to perceive them or have an opinion about them?
Well, obviously not. That seems absurd.
Right. The source argues very clearly that the answer is no. Things have an inherent truth, an existence completely independent of human perception or even human existence itself.
Like the Earth being round even when everyone thought it was flat.
Exactly. That's the historical example it uses. People believe the Earth was flat, carried by a turtle, whatever, but it stayed stubbornly spherical, completely unaffected by human opinion.
So human opinion doesn't make reality.
Precisely. Things have a truth. We can either perceive it or fail to perceive it. But our beliefs, no matter how strong, don't change the fundamental facts of reality.
That distinction is so important, isn't it? Perceiving truth versus creating it.
Absolutely.
When we do that inner work, digging deep inside, we start to know our own truth, our essential self. And when we really look deeply into things, we get closer to their truth, the core idea that brought them into being. It's about discovery. Always discovery.
Not invention.
Right. And building on that, the source introduces this key concept from Professor Lou Carlos, who often writes about self-discovery. He outlines 3 types of reflection.
Okay, 3 types.
Yeah, each one progressively deeper. And these are crucial, he argues, for developing the ability to generate your own ideas, not just repeating what society or the media feeds you.
Which leads to that kind of uncomfortable challenge for you listening.
Exactly. Think about all the ideas rattling around in your head right now. How many did you genuinely come up with yourself?
Oof, that's a tough one.
Try tracing them back. You might be really surprised how many were just absorbed, cloned, or copied from somewhere else rather than truly conceived by you, generating genuinely original ideas. It's harder than it looks.
Okay, so let's break down these 3 types of reflection from Professor Lou Carlos.
Yeah.
They sound like a roadmap.
They really are. First up is moral reflection. This is the ground floor, the foundation.
Okay.
It's where you seriously analyze whether things, your actions, your choices, situations around you are right or wrong, just or unjust. But here's the key difference.
What is that?
You do it according to your own deeply held internal standards, not just what society says or what's popular or even what's legal. It's about your inner moral compass.
So asking yourself, is this truly aligned with my sense of good?
Precisely. Like you see someone struggling, moral reflection asks, what's my responsibility here beyond just what's expected or convenient?
Got it. What's next?
Next is philosophical reflection. This is a step up, a deeper level of looking inward.
How so?
Here, you're analyzing what's true and what's false, not necessarily out in the world, but within yourself.
Within me? Like what?
Like how often do you show up in the world genuinely, showing your true face? Without a mask, without performing, without trying to be who you think others want.
Uh-oh. That's getting personal.
It is. How many truly authentic, unmasked connections do you have where both people are being real and vulnerable? This level pushes you to shed the pretense, to embrace who you actually are.
Okay, that's deep. What's the 3rd level?
The 3rd is spiritual reflection. This is the highest, most profound level.
Spiritual, okay.
Here, you're trying to discern what is truly real versus what is merely illusory.
Real versus illusory, like what?
It means distinguishing between the fleeting, temporary material things, social status, passing desires, and the durable, maybe even eternal qualities. Things like justice, compassion, kindness, courage, wisdom.
The things that actually last.
Exactly. Engaging in spiritual reflection totally reorients your values. It shifts your focus to what truly matters, what genuinely feeds the soul beyond the temporary buzz.
Wow. Moral, philosophical, spiritual, 3 layers of looking inward.
Each building on the last.
So ultimately, what does this tell us about ourselves?
The source argues pretty strongly that this habit of reflection, practiced through these levels, is one of the absolute most important skills a person can develop.
If you want an authentic identity.
Exactly. If you truly want to forge your own inner compass, have a real identity, and not just be an echo, a clone of whatever everyone else is thinking or doing, this internal work is essential. It's non-negotiable. It's how you build your unique inner world and stand solid in it.
Okay, so you do the reflection, you start generating your own ideas.
Yeah.
But then what? Is just having the ideas enough?
Not even close, according to the source. Simply having contact with ideas or even being able to memorize them perfectly isn't sufficient.
Right, it makes this point about reading all of Plato or Aristotle.
Exactly. You can memorize every single word. But if you just recite it, without that deep internal reflection, without wrestling with it, without letting it change you, you haven't truly understood it.
And the source critiques how society often values that kind of recall, right?
Yeah.
Mistaking it for intelligence.
Totally. We say, wow, look how much they know. But honestly, Google knows infinitely more. AI knows more. The real value isn't just storing facts. It's what you do with those ideas, the unique connections you make, the personal meaning you find, the new insights you generate because you've actually lived with the idea. That's the human element technology can't replicate.
That leads nicely into this idea of walking around with ideas, doesn't it?
It does. It's about taking these big concepts off the bookshelf and into the street, applying them to everyday life, seeing them reflected in the world around you, developing that eye for underlying pattern.
And the source gives that great personal example, the storm in Brasilia.
Yeah, it's a simple but powerful illustration. Watching the storm, seeing the beauty, even in the destruction of nature, the graceful trees, the carpet of yellow leaves afterwards.
And the thought, nature is beautiful even when it destroys.
Right. And then contrasting that immediately with a nearby newly built apartment block and thinking,
humans manage to make ugly things even when they build. Ouch.
It's a stark contrast, but it led to this deeper insight.
Connecting it to dharma and karma.
Exactly. Seeing nature acting according to its inherent law, its dharma, without self-interest, hence its beauty even in chaos. And seeing human actions, often driven by self-interest, maximum profit, minimum cost leading to distortion, ugliness, that's the consequence, the karma.
So the experience helped grasp the essence of those big concepts, seeing them play out right there.
Precisely. Recognizing the same underlying principle in totally different situations, that ability to see the pattern the source suggests is a real definition of intelligence. Moving from abstract theory to lived reality.
That's a fantastic illustration of understanding. But as you said, even understanding isn't the final step.
Correct. The source is very clear. Comprehending ideas is not the same as living them.
It's not enough to get it intellectually, you have to embody it.
Yes. Which brings up that powerful biblical quote, "By your works you shall be known."
Not by your CV, not by your title.
But by how you actually act. Socrates said something similar, didn't he? Act so I may see you. Character is revealed in action, not just words.
And that thought experiment is pretty intense too. If all our books vanished.
Right, and future generations could only judge us by how we lived. What would they conclude?
The source suggests maybe they'd see us as deeply selfish, lacking idealism, maybe spiritually shallow.
It's a sobering thought because ultimately our actions, our choices, our behaviors, that's what truly expresses what we know, what we value, who we are. It's an unblinking mirror.
And that quote from Professor Jorge Angelo Braga fits perfectly here.
The founder of Nova Acrópole.
Yes.
You don't live from what you eat, you live from what you assimilate.
It applies so well to ideas. When you truly live an idea, you digest it, you assimilate it. It becomes part of you, nourishes you, changes you from the inside out.
It's no longer just external information, it's integrated into your being.
And the source makes that great point about ideas not having copyright.
Yeah, I love that. When you truly live an idea, you're not just repeating it, you're recreating it in the unique context of your life.
You might notice details or nuances the original thinker missed.
Exactly, because you're experiencing it firsthand. And that allows you to add something new, to enrich it, to teach it from a place of real lived experience.
That's what makes a true teacher a pedagogue. adding your own sip from the well of experience.
Precisely. They don't just transmit, they transform and enrich the knowledge through their own journey with it.
So thinking about this for yourself, the goal is integration, making ideas part of who you are, becoming a living expression, not just a walking encyclopedia.
A living expression, that's beautifully put.
But wait, there's more. The journey isn't over, even when you're living the ideas.
Still another step.
Apparently so. Even embodying ideas isn't the same as wanting to share them out of love.
Ah, the motivation behind it all.
Yes, it refers to this ardent desire, this burning need to pass on what has genuinely changed your life for the better. An unwillingness to hoard something beneficial when others could gain from it too.
And the source notes this is rare today, this passionate desire to contribute.
It laments the apathy, yeah. This fervent drive to give life meaning, to make a real difference in the world. It seems quite uncommon, but it's at this point when you start feeling that deep, selfless urge to share.
That's when you approach the language of the heart.
Exactly. It's where understanding meets this profound, selfless love.
Which connects directly to that concept of sacred pain, doesn't it? Introduced by Helena Blavatsky.
Right. Explain that again. It's not about enjoying suffering.
No, not at all. It's about consciously choosing to carry, as the source puts it, a dose, a tear, a pain of humanity with you.
Why on earth would you do that?
As a protection. A safeguard against being totally consumed by egoism. Which, the source argues boldly, is the biggest evil, the root cause of all our problems, personal and global.
All problems. That's a huge claim.
It is, and the challenge is there for you. Can you think of any human problem where selfishness isn't lurking at the core somewhere?
That's a deep question.
So having this sacred pain means your decisions, your actions aren't just about you. You're constantly trying to add value, to benefit others, to serve life itself. Your circle of concern expands way beyond yourself.
Yeah, Blavatsky recommended that daily practice.
Yeah, that simple but powerful intention, ask for the good of humanity, is framed as this huge turning point, a watershed moment.
Shifting focus from me to we.
Profoundly, it elevates the whole meaning of your life. And the source uses that genie analogy to really drive it home.
Oh yeah, the genie with budget cuts. Only one wish.
Exactly. What do you wish for? Most people jump to personal gain, the trip, the car, the mansion.
Naturally, maybe.
Perhaps. But faced with billions suffering, the suggestion is profound. Wish for all humanity to become much, much more benevolent.
Because that would solve everything else at the root.
That's the argument. It completely reframes what we consider a worthwhile wish, shifting from self-interest to universal well-being.
So what's the core message here for you listening?
That willingness to embrace humanity's struggles as partly your own, to feel that sacred pain, it truly awakens the heart.
And in recognizing that even small acts of sharing matter.
Immensely. That little you have, kindness, time, insight, can feel huge to someone with nothing. We become, as Carol Branca said, enrichment posts. Life's gifts flow through us and emerge greater.
Like Aristotle said about virtue strengthening through practice?
Yeah.
Generosity makes you more generous?
Exactly. It's a virtuous cycle. Give and you grow. Which ties back to Professor Braga's poignant line.
Let no one say of you, I passed by them and they gave me nothing. A powerful standard to live by.
Truly.
And all this leads us to the symbolism of the heart itself. It's not just the physical pump.
No, it's much more than that, although the physical heart is its anchor in our world.
The idea is the heart is the center, the core around which life revolves. Beyond the physical, there's this subtler essence, this core identity, a cell of God within us.
That's the concept. Our true spiritual heart. It echoes in myths like Osiris, his scattered pieces representing that divine spark in every being.
Or the Indian idea of Sutrina, the thread.
Yes, the single thread passing through all the beads on a necklace, signifying that, in essence, we are all fundamentally connected. We are one. That divine spark, that unifying thread, is our true heart.
And this human heart connects to the divine heart.
That's the profound implication. Professor Der Steinbergman described God as a great heart with systoles and diastoles, expanding to create the universe, contracting to gather it back, like the cosmic breaths of Brahma.
Wow, a cosmic heartbeat.
And this great heart is linked to all hearts, including yours. There's a direct line, a constant communication channel.
So learning to listen to our own heart
is like standing at the doorway of a corridor, connecting us to all other hearts, and ultimately to the divine itself. This language of the heart is what Blavatsky called the voice of the silence.
The voice of our deepest, truest self.
Exactly, guiding us quietly from within.
Okay, but if the heart is the sacred center, what about the flip side? the thorn in the heart.
Ah, yes. The discomfort. The speaker shared that childhood memory of seeing Jesus' heart with thorns, wondering who could inflict such pain.
A powerful image.
And then relating it to their own practice of reviewing the day. The mind might say, all good, tasks done.
But the heart feels something else, a little ache.
A subtle thorn. And when you genuinely ask the heart what's hurting, it points to specific moments, times when you broke a protocol of life.
Meaning acted out of alignment.
Yeah, like rushing past someone who needed a moment more attention, offering a quick hello but ignoring a deeper need out of haste or ego. The mind might brush it off, but the heart, it remembers, it flags it with that ache.
So that thorn is actually valuable.
Incredibly precious, the source suggests. It's our internal integrity check. It shows us exactly when we were coherent with life's truth and when we weren't, our built-in guide.
And the only way to ease the ache is to face it.
Yes, confront the situation internally, acknowledge it, take responsibility, and commit to doing better next time, being more attentive, more compassionate. That conscious acknowledgement and commitment acts like a balm. It removes the thorn.
So for you listening, the message is clear. To speak through the heart, you first have to learn to speak with it, to listen to that inner voice, even when it's uncomfortable.
That's the foundation, daily listening.
Right. The journey continues with that practice, listening to your heart every day, maybe every night before sleep, asking it, how was my day, really?
And letting it show you the moments of alignment and the moments of misalignment.
And achieving a day approved by your heart. That sounds amazing.
The source describes it as wonderful, bringing well-being, peace of mind, serenity, the sleep of the just, feeling quit with heaven and earth.
At peace with yourself and the world. A truly human, maybe even perfect day in that sense.
From a humanistic view, yes. And once you establish that daily dialogue, that intimate connection,
once you can hear and trust that subtle voice,
the next step is to bring it to the lips, to speak through it, let its wisdom flow out.
And that connects to this beautiful idea of happiness the source offers.
Yes, defining happiness not just as pleasure, but as those moments when universal principles, justice, goodness, beauty, kindness manifest through you.
You become a channel, an intermediary.
Exactly. You're not the owner of these qualities, but you've become clear enough, pure enough to be a bridge for them to enter the world through your actions and words.
And that's the moment of greatest fulfillment.
The source argues there's no moment your existence is more justified, more deeply fulfilling than when that happens, when those universal values flow through you.
And the words you speak then aren't just yours anymore.
They become the word of the universe, a sacred word. Heros logos, as the Greeks called it.
Like that Buddhist Dhammapada quote.
More than 1,000 meaningless words. A single one that brings consolation is worth more. That captures the essence of the sacred word. A word with real weight, real value.
And Mircea Eliade's point about the sacred giving meaning.
Right. Most words are just noise. They become sacred when they're tools for something noble, just good to emerge. The word from the heart isn't just from your heart. It's from the heart of the universe, from Plato's plane of ideas.
Like Khalil Gibran on prayer. God speaks it through your lips.
You become the vessel, the channel for these higher truths.
So, for you listening, what's the real impact of trying to live this way?
It's how you genuinely start speaking with the heart, not just thinking about it, but becoming a living conduit.
And Cicero's definition fits perfectly here. The difference between a bad and good orator.
Remind us.
A bad orator leaves everyone thinking, wow, they were amazing, so smart. A good orator leaves everyone thinking about themselves.
Ah, yes. The focus shifts.
The good orator isn't selling themselves. They're a medium, letting the breath of the spirit, those universal ideas, reach you, the listener, directly. It's not about the speaker's ego. It's about your transformation.
Which brings it all back to that magnetic force behind what you do and say, Professor Braga's analogy of the iron filings.
Oh, right. Trying to arrange them with a spatula is hard.
Impossible, almost. A slight tremor messes it up. But put a square magnet underneath.
Shake it gently, and poof, a perfect square.
Exactly. The perfection on top comes from the unseen force behind it, the magnet, not the tool used. It raises that question for you. How do you cultivate that inner magnet?
So what's the takeaway here for you?
When you consciously put your heart, your deepest intention, your will to serve, your desire to make a difference behind what you do,
things tend to fall into place. Find their best form?
Yes. Not because you're suddenly so brilliant, but because your heart is aligned with something bigger. You consecrate your action, give it a higher purpose.
And that applies directly to speaking.
Absolutely. When your heart, your genuine desire for your words to add value and benefit others, is the force behind what you say. Your voice becomes a channel for something greater, more resonant. That's real magnetism, that invisible pull that truly connects and elevates.
And here's a really key point.
Wow.
The heart, when it's active and aligned like this, always speaks of the good.
The trail it leaves is always beneficial.
Right. It elevates consciousness, helps people humanize, know themselves better, brings out their best. And good isn't subjective here.
No, citing Plato, the good is what leads towards unity, towards our best selves, back to our true essence, our Father's house.
And that beautiful idea, good attracts good.
If you speak from the heart about what's good, it awakens the good in others. It invites them to respond from that same place, creates this upward spiral.
Which leads to that powerful redefinition of love.
Yes, not possessiveness, not wanting people for yourself.
That's desire, ego.
Right. True love is pouring good onto the path, acting consistently for the highest benefit, growth, and consciousness of others in every moment. True love leaves that undeniable trail of good.
By your works, you shall be known. If someone speaks from the heart, you see the results.
People aren't just impressed. They're reminded of who they are. They feel inspired, hopeful. Their own hearts resonate. It's a deep internal shift, not just surface motivation.
And finally, the heart channels true wisdom.
Milarepa's words. In the monastery of your heart, you have a temple where all Buddhas unite.
Wow. So the more we listen to our heart, serve it, let it create good in the world.
The more our knowledge transforms into real living wisdom, which the Source calls one of humanity's highest goals. That inner temple, that niche in the heart, is where all wisdom converges. It's accessible within each of us.
So bringing it all together practically, if you want to teach or speak effectively or just be more authentic.
The question is, do you have that magnet? Is your heart active? Are you carrying that sacred pain? Are you serving something beyond your own interests?
When you do that, you gain magnetism.
You start engaging in this profound communication with the human heart, what the Egyptians called the greatest mystery. You tap into something incredibly powerful.
Which brings us back to that ancient Egyptian wisdom.
Bathe your thought, word, action in waters of the heart. Integrate it fully.
Wow. We've covered a lot of ground today, from the origins of speech right up to the heart as a channel for divine wisdom.
It's been quite a journey. Reflection, living ideas, embracing sacred pain, transforming words into something truly magnetic.
And just think about this. Imagine the difference it would make if every interaction, every word, every single decision truly came from that place, from a consecrated heart wanting to serve the good.
What kind of world would that be?
It's almost hard to fathom the shift.
Which leads to that final question for you to really sit with after we finish. How might your life and the lives of everyone you touch be transformed if you consciously chose, every day, to bathe your thought, word, and action in the waters of the heart?
Imagine the ripple effect of that kind of intentional, heartfelt living. The trail of good it could create.
Something profound to ponder.
Absolutely. Until next time, keep diving deep.